As I stand in front of the Washington Memorial, I can't help but wonder if the mojo of petrodollar gone. What happened? The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has taken out all its treasury bills. In other words, it has encashed all the United States treasury bills. This means that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia no longer believes that the United States can take care of its interests. So if it is not United States, who is it? Is it China or is it Russia? One wonders. Well, what has happened? I'm going to break it down with what happened since 2022. In 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine and United States slapped a lot of sanctions on Russia. Yes, we all remember that. But before that, it had slapped sanctions on Iran and Venezuela, especially on their production of oil. So what happened? Instead of reducing the output to keep the prices of crude high in the market, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and OPEC countries have actually started pumping more oil. More oil has flooded the market, which meant that the price of the barrel of crude has been around $78 for the last 6 months or so. Now, this puts a lot of pressure on the shale producing oil fields in the United States, which require the price of the crude to be at a certain high level. You lower that level and shale no longer becomes viable. So what is happening now is in the United States, you're seeing a lot of bankruptcies of shale-based oil-producing companies, and people are getting laid off left, right, and center. South Dakota, Texas, North Dakota, all these places are affected. Now, what is the United States trying to do? Well, it tries to keep adding more and more sanctions, but nothing is working. It put sanctions on Venezuela and on Iran, but both of them, even though they couldn't pump out oil, the output shortage has been filled up by the other countries pumping more. In fact, Russia is no longer taking dollars for its petrol, and so is Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is willing to take Chinese digital yuan in exchange for giving it oil. So everybody is getting off of the petrodollar. What happens then? Well, every time a transaction happens between two countries without involving the dollar for crude, then the middleman, which is sitting in Houston, that is Uncle Sam, doesn't get his cut. No more of all the other garnishings that they could do. So what happens then? US is going to start feeling the pinch. So you have shale production going down, the Houston making its money off of petrol purchases losing out, and overall United States is unable to stamp its authority. Russia is still pumping, and I'm hearing that Iran is also pumping in a clandestine way, and they are smuggling their crude out, and so is Venezuela. So what gives? Who is going to be able to police all these things? Certainly, US is now completely defanged, and it's still bringing about regime changes. Bangladesh and Thailand, and who knows who else is next. They would certainly try to do something in India. That's what it looks like. But are they really that powerful, that strong? What does India have to do? Well, India needs to stand its ground and be able to ward off some of the threats that might come its way, especially for Prime Minister Modi. As far as the United States is concerned, look inwards first. Why are you taking all these pot shots? See, in exchange for crushing Venezuelan economy, now the majority of the immigrants coming into the United States are all from Venezuela. I mean, I don't understand how this monkey balancing is going to work. And many of these people can't speak even English. And they don't have the skill set needed to survive and thrive in a developed country such as the United States. So, what are they going to do? How are they going to be useful? You are already seeing on the streets drug cabals from these countries fighting battles. In fact, they are taking pot shots at the local law and enforcement authorities. So things are really getting, going from bad to worse in many of the sanctuary cities, especially in the sanctuary cities. What is the United States government going to do? Do you think that 4 more years to Kamala Harris is going to solve this problem? What has she accomplished in this 4 years so far? Zero, nothing, negative? I don't know. Negative also could be right, because he has actually made things go worse at the border. So, whatever it is, right now the situation is so bad that anybody, any American will say that things are bad today compared to what they were 4 years ago. This was the classic question that Ronald Reagan asked. Are you better off today than 4 years ago? And people said no, and they resoundingly voted for Ronald Reagan. If Trump asked the same question, I think the answer will also be the same. But overall, the United States has lost its mojo, and I wouldn't say all of it, but some of it, and that doesn't seem to be reversed. And I don't think a Trump presidency is going to be able to do much about it. You need to go back to your basics, see what you are good at, and try keep doing that more and more. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.